In today's video, we're going to be diving into our official snowfall forecast for the snow season of 2024 to 2025. Before we dive into things, be sure to check out Prestige Weather in the top right corner of your screen and below this video. It's only $4.99 to sign up, and we are going to be uploading our second winter forecast over there very shortly. So if you guys enjoy the wintertime content, I highly recommend that. Be sure to leave a comment down below with your location, like the video, and if you subscribe, and I'll be going through as many of those as possible and trying to give you guys a detailed snowfall forecast. So be sure to do that today as well. Let's just dive into things, and we're going to be going over your average total snowfall first things first, and then we're going to dive into the forecast at the very end. And as you can see, if you're in the pink layer, you expect no snow, but we're going to add layers to this, don't worry. We're not going to see no snow in northern Montana, rest assured. Our next layer here is the up to 3 inches layer. So if you're in the remaining pink or kind of tan area, that means that you really don't see snowfall on average. Any, that is. Keep in mind that doesn't mean that you never see snow. It's just on the average year you don't. You might see it every other year. You might see it every 5 or 10 years, but you don't see it on average every single year. But if you are in the gray area, congratulations, you experience snowfall on the average year. Let's keep going. As we add this next white layer, this is the 3 to 6 inch and up layer. The remaining gray layer is anything between basically a dusting or a trace amount up to 3 inches. So if you're in that gray area, it's a trace to 3 inches of snowfall that you expect to see. Now, as we add another layer here, this light blue layer, that's the 6 to 12 inches and up layer. So if you're in that blue area, you experience 6 or more inches per year. The remaining white area is going to be your 3 to 6 inch layer. We can see for a very slim layer there of the mountainous west. Keep in mind, this is a very high definition version of this. We used to do these videos a lot, but it was much lower resolution. You can really tell that so much work went into this map. I think it was like 10 hours or something I spent making these by hand. It's absolutely crazy how into detail I really went with it. Again, the white area there remaining, we see some areas in Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, the northern Gulf states, into some of the Carolinas there. That is going to be your 3 to 6 inch band. Now, as we add our next layer, this is the 12 to 24 inches and up area. That means that the remaining lighter blue area is going to be 6 to 12 inches of annual snowfall. We see a lot of Oklahoma in there, Kansas, Arkansas, southern Missouri, portions of Tennessee into North Carolina and Virginia. We see a lot of southern Nevada there. Some of the higher elevations, but not the highest elevations throughout the mountainous west, I would say, all experience that kind of 6 to 12 inch corridor. Now, this darker blue area is going to be your 24 to 36 inch area. The remaining kind of royal blue, kind of ocean blue color there, or the medium blue on screen, however you want to put it. That's going to be the 12 to 24 inch area. And we see a lot of Kansas, Oklahoma, most of the panhandle there, the panhandle of Texas as well. Areas throughout New Mexico, some of the lower elevation central regions of Oregon, Washington, Idaho, Nevada as well. We see Missouri, southern Illinois, southern Indiana, southern Ohio there. A lot of Kentucky in there, Tennessee, central Virginia up through kind of like the Delmarva, a lot of the heart of the mid-Atlantic there, DC, Baltimore, into Philadelphia, southern New Jersey there. That's all going to be your 12 to 24 inch region. Again, these are all just averages. You can be above or below this technically, but this is your average that you see during your snowfall season, your historic averages. Now, as we go ahead and add our 36 to 48 inch area, that means that the remaining dark blue area there is going to be that 24 to 36 inch region, again, for those kind of dark navy blues. And we see a lot of the northern plains in there. It's not due to the lack of cold. It's definitely due to the lack of precipitation for South Dakota and North Dakota, a lot of Nebraska and Iowa there. We see a lot of northern Illinois, northern Indiana, northern Ohio, a lot of your Appalachian Mountain Range, especially like the lower outskirts of the Appalachian Mountain Range, so your more hilly areas there. We do see some of the Rockies, not the highest elevations, but kind of, again, those lower areas throughout the Rockies regions, seeing that 24 to 36 inch darker navy blue. Again, the magenta is 36 to 48 inches. As we kind of reveal our next pink layer here, again, we're talking about 36 to 48 inches in those magentas. So we see a lot of the upper Midwest, Great Lakes. Again, Appalachian Mountain Range getting higher up into the elevations now for that. A lot of your northern plains into some of the areas just to the east of the Rockies. So there is some hilly areas in there, also some plains involved. Again, kind of your medium elevation mountains throughout the west also involved here. The remaining pink area is that 48 to 72 inch area. We're getting really, really high up into the totals now. As we add our final layer to these averages, again, we're talking about 48 to 72 inches there in the remaining pink areas. That is some of the Rockies, even some of the higher elevations. We do see throughout the northern upper Midwest, I would say northeastern Minnesota, northern Wisconsin, areas throughout portions of Michigan in both peninsulas there. And then some of your Appalachian Mountain Range. If you're not in the highest elevations there of the Appalachian Mountain Range, you're likely in that 48 to 72 inch area. The remaining red regions are going to be your 72 inch or more areas. A lot of these fly well over the 100, even 200 inch mark in some of these mountainous areas and some of the areas that experience lake effect snowfall. So we're talking about the Rockies, Cascades, Sierra Nevadas here, also upwards towards the Great Lakes, and even for some of the higher elevation areas like the Catskills, the Adirondacks, the Green Mountains, the White Mountains there, some of the Berkshires as well down there in Massachusetts. And then for a lot of northern Maine, all of these areas average seeing over 72 inches per season. Now, that was just the averages. Of course, you're like, why is this called the snowfall forecast? So let's dive into the snowfall forecast. And this was from our previous winter forecast. So I want to let you know that over the coming days, there will be a new rendition of this coming out with that newest winter forecast. You can find that in Prestige Weather, or you can wait in a couple of weeks. We will be uploading that here on the YouTube channel, where you will get the updated edition of this. It's still not made. I don't really know what direction I'm going to go yet, so that's why this is the most up-to-date forecast. We are waiting for new model guidance, long-range model guidance, as well as some information as far as the ENSO down there in the El Nino region, to kind of get a pinpoint accurate idea of what we're expecting for the upcoming winter. So we are waiting for some new information, I guess I could say, for the updated version of this, and that's why it's not included in this. We do expect some below average snowfall chance to occur throughout the southwest, south central, and southeast. Keep in mind, you're like, why is Miami even included in this? Well, they might have a 1 in 1,000 chance. That is going to be even lower than that chance here this season is what we're basically predicting. So keep that in mind. So these areas are kind of like moderately below average chance of snowfall. We do have a higher risk of seeing below average chance of snowfall here, and that's going to be for a lot of the southwest, like Southern California, Central California as well, Southern Nevada, Southern Arizona, and Southwestern New Mexico. Again, a lot of these areas do not average seeing any snowfall, not even close, but everything has a chance technically, and that chance is just going to be lower than it already is, which is through the floor low. Now, as we kind of dive into the above average snowfall regions, we see a big one for the Northwest through a lot of the central and north central states, as well as a lot of the east, especially the Northeast there in mid-Atlantic. We see the Ohio Valley and even the northern Gulf states included here. We do expect to see a more La Nina pattern, which is going to bring that storm track onshore through the Pacific Northwest into the Rockies, and then kind of eventually around like this. A lot of cold air pouring into this region as well, which is going to aid in this being in the form of snowfall, obviously. Sometimes we could see this jet stream deviate a little bit to the east, and we could get some East Coast snowstorms out of this type of a pattern in this area here. I'm kind of hatching there. That is definitely a risk here, and that is why we have all of these areas in the above average snowfall. Now, to kind of inform you in what I'm thinking for my updated winter forecast, a little bit of a sneak peek here is I'm leaning a little bit more towards what we call a neutral ENSO as opposed to a La Nina. This will shift things slightly, not all the way. This is still going to be a good idea of what to expect, but this could deviate things a little bit, and definitely in a positive direction for the east if you are hoping for cold and snow. So more on that coming up. Again, that will be in Prestige Weather much earlier if you want to get early access to that. Now we do have a couple of darker layers here, particularly the Northwest and Rockies there, where we are a lot more confident in the above average snowfall occurring here throughout this snowfall season. We also have one here for a lot of your Appalachian mountain range throughout the Great Lakes as well. The lake effect snowfall could be quite active, and I'm feeling like we could have an above average year. We're definitely due for it. But a lot of the Ohio Valley, Appalachian mountain range as well, and then New England is basically going to be in my furthest above average chance here as well on the eastern end of things. So certainly looking like quite a snowy season. And again, the updated version of this could look even snowier. That's kind of what I'm leaning towards. Colder, snowier, wetter overall, especially in the east. Maybe a little bit less out west, actually, for a lot of the West Coast and Rockies. We might be kind of downgrading this. It's not confirmed. Again, I'm not decided entirely yet, and I am waiting on new information, but that is kind of the direction I am thinking that we're going to move. So keep that in mind. Be on the lookout for updates. We do upload every single day, so be sure to subscribe. You can even hit the bell icon for daily notifications when we upload so you never miss one. Be sure to like the video if you did enjoy it. Leave a comment down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.